Hello, hello, and welcome. Welcome on into the Swear Word. I'm your host, Brandon Swear, and hey, this is a podcast for the chili community, by the chili community. Regardless of your spice tolerance, this is a place for you. Man, up tonight, we are going to be talking about growing. Much anticipated, everyone's favorite. We're going to be talking about the overall breakdown of growing Superhots, as well as the Primo Wrecking Crew, the greatness that comes from this, and being able to fuel these competitions. And we're going to be featuring some spicy chocolate. So episode 144 starts now. What's going on, Swear Nation? So glad to have everyone here, whether you're tuning in on YouTube, Spotify, Rumble, or Apple Podcasts. Thank you so much for being here and continuing to make this podcast what it is. Go ahead and share this out with other like-minded chili heads or individuals that are just curious about the world of hot. This is where you can find everything to do with the world of hot. Now, up tonight, as mentioned, we have spicy chocolate on deck for the Hot or Not segment of the podcast. And this is going to be a nice pickup that I ended up finding while at the Spicy Planet HTX League of Fire belt match. And this is from Interstellar Confections. Absolutely amazing, and looking forward to sharing that all with y'all, as well as we're going to be diving into the overall Superhot growing, fueling these competitions, the growers behind it, and as well as really kind of getting an idea of really what to expect in, the thought process of this growing, for these competitions in mind, as well as curating boxes for individuals that want to pick up their own box of Superhots. So we'll be diving into that plus much more. So let's go ahead and kick it on over to Hot or Not. All right, hey, welcome on into Hot or Not. Up tonight, we have two different chocolates. These are from Interstellar Confections. Pick these up at the Spicy Planet HTX League of Fire belt match. An absolute blown away by this. So they had three different iterations of spicy chocolate. He did tell me this was his first time making spicy chocolate. An absolute pleasure to be able to enjoy, and a very fun and creative way to be able to do this. Now, he had mentioned that it is not just creating the chocolate, but then there's also a level of art to it, and it shines throughout the whole entire process. Use a black light, you see color pop. You got nice little textures on the top, nice little grooves and patterns and fun ways, as well as for those individuals in the family that may not like spice, but still enjoy a good chocolate. He has a nice variety pack as well, but we're going to dive into these. As always, do not like to read the ingredients ahead of time, like to dive in and let my taste buds do the exploration. With this being a chocolate, there's going to be a little bit different of a breakdown, not quite a scorecard per se, because just ultimately haven't really formulated one that would fit for chocolate. Kind of have a rough idea, but all in all, we're going to be sharing that breakdown. And as always, we'll have it linked down below. But let's go ahead and jump into the first chocolate. We got a nice overall view of the medium heat here is also done in a milk chocolate. So he had offerings in milk chocolate or dark chocolate, and then different variations of heat. So the bottom one down here, as you can see, has 3 chilies on the box. Beautiful. That one's done in dark chocolate. The difference, if I remember correctly, is the medium heat is the Primo Tali, and the 3 chili is Lemon Starburst, Primo Tali, and I think also Brain Strain. Amazing guy. Clearly very passionate about his craft. Let's go ahead and grab this first box. Now, this is the 2 chili milk chocolate. I'm going to go ahead and try to get a nice little close-up here. Maybe. You can kind of see the hash lines there. Let's get back to this camera real quick, and I'll show you. So, boom. As you can see, great visual pop. You still see that same color, but much more drastic on the inside with the black light on it. But love the inner part of that lid right there. I mean, no bit throughout this is it really lacking in any way. So kudos there. Well thought out, well executed, nice product overall. But let's go ahead and jump into this first one here. I'm going to slightly tilt that out. Nice hearty bar. Not hearty har, hearty bar. As you can see, you know, decent density to this all. Love the overall sheen, even coming through the video. But, you know, nice thickness here. Love it. Looks super nice, super clean. Interstellar Confections, absolutely crushing it. But let's go ahead and break off a little piece of this level 2 and get that going. I'm going to put the rest of that bar there. Cheers. This is the milk chocolate level 2 heat from Interstellar Confections. Cheers. Oh my goodness. Smooth, creamy, very tender in the overall break to this chocolate. Now, because I was driving back with this, I did have the everything kind of on ice to maintain the coolness so it didn't lose any of the artistic aspects that are accentuated on this chocolate. But beautiful notes, creamy, savory, overall nice, calming, cooling note and feel on the tongue. The second you start to feel like that's the case, then the peppers really latch in, get into those taste buds, and start to ramp up. Nice back of the throat, slight sizzle, great overall time. Like I said, I'm pretty sure he said this one here is either Brain Strain or Primo Tally. But either way, beautiful notes, really hitting the back of the throat. A little bit on the mid part of the mouth, but not much. All in all, phenomenal stuff here from Interstellar Chocolates. If you're just starting out, that might be too hot for you. There is a 1X spice that is not featured here that you can grab and get a hold of. That one is just lemon starburst and either milk or dark chocolate. Absolutely phenomenal. Oh my goodness. That is the perfect chili head treat. It is one that ultimately I'm gonna have to set it aside, because if I eat any more of that, I'm gonna eat it all. And I definitely want to see how my wife, what her thoughts are on it as well, because I think it'll be something that she would gladly enjoy. But up next is the 3X. So we're gonna go ahead and jump into this one here. Get you a nice little close up as well. Boom. I mean, look at that beautiful chocolate. I mean, the way this is molded together, absolutely phenomenal. Love the overall look, the speckles, the color to this chocolate is phenomenal. I mean, look at that. Nice stuff there. I'm going to go ahead and break off some here. This is dark chocolate, the 3X. Nice little break. Go ahead and show you what I got. Color explosion on the hands. Beautiful though. But cheers. The triple X is where it's at for chili heads. The dark chocolate pairs very well with the overall spice. Bold, earthy, sweet, yet savory. Nice complexities going on here. And then you're getting those nice pepper notes coming through. It's almost reminiscent of, say, as if a hot sauce was worked into the chocolate. But I know from what I had talked with the owner of Interstellar Confections, he was saying that it is just strictly the peppers itself worked into the chocolate. But so creamy, so smooth, nice overall. If you like dark chocolate, you're going to absolutely love this. And the pairing of the overall chocolate and the level of spice is very well represented here between the 2 and the 3X. The difference, I would say, is the 3X is quicker to get to the hit, and it is much more prevalent in the area of its burn, which is the back of the throat, and not really much in the mouth at all. Really just consolidating on that throat. Nothing in the chest, nothing in the stomach, but with every single word, I taste, feel, and kind of have a slight pepper breath aspect. So you know that heat is there. You're definitely picking it up. You're enjoying the chocolate the whole way through. It is absolutely beautiful work of art. Love what Interstellar Confections is doing Look forward to seeing more chocolate companies really step up and step into this space needed for us chili heads, as well as many future chili heads that might be curious and want to enter in a more sweet, savory way. If you enjoyed the chocolate that was featured here on Hot or Not tonight, I will have the direct links down below for it, all the ways you can get in touch with Interstellar Confections. Highly recommend you checking these out. If you're in the Houston area, there is no reason you shouldn't be checking this out or have already tried this, because it is absolute treat. And grab the spicy ones while you can. If not, he's got a great variety pack, and looking forward to as he rolls out more potential spicy options and new creations as well. So I'll have that link down below, but let's go ahead and get on over to our interview. Hey, Jacob, how's it going?
Going great.
Man, it's an absolute pleasure to have you back on once again, always coming with the knowledge and the helpful tips. So much so that recently I have actually been scouring Facebook Marketplace, like you said. So hopefully I can procure at least 2 more 55-gallon drums to continue my rainwater / Jadam project. So
Nice.
yeah, glad to have you here.
Glad to be here.
Well, as always, you know, y'all speaking as the overarching umbrella of the Primo Wrecking Crew, bringing the pain and really helping deliver the challenge to a lot of these League of Fire belt matches. And then boiling it down, obviously, with the Deathridges peppers really bringing in the heat, getting massive amounts of traction online. There's so many areas in which we can kind of dive into in that wheelhouse, if you will. So looking forward to discussing a lot more about that. Plus, I know we left off last time talking about really the overall stages and process of growing from like seed. And then I think we left off right at the point of kind of that early young adult plant, if you will, not quite fruiting, but just right about to be there. So can easily jump into that part of the discussion as well throughout here. So we got a nice little bit to kind of dive into, but I'll leave it up to you first. Is there an area that you kind of wanted to touch on?
I mean, we're prime time growing right now, so
Yep.
it's plants look good. We probably still got probably another month, and then I move everything into the greenhouse. I'll move about 50 plants into the greenhouse and start a little winter project.
Nice. And I guess during we might have touched on this before, but just in case anyone hasn't really kind of tied into the last time that you were on, collectively, how many plants do you end up saving for the greenhouse project?
Last year we did 50. I think I'm gonna cut it back this year to probably about 40 because I mean, the plants are behind me. They're massive, and I only have I think it's 20 or 24 feet greenhouse, and it gets kind of cramped in there.
Yep. Yep.
And I just do it for fun. I like doing it. We have a wood stove and we heat it with that. In Tennessee, it gets cold. So,
Yep.
but whether it's Mother Nature this year is hard to judge. So who knows what it'll do.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, speaking to just kind of how my season has gone here, really kicking myself for not, I guess, locking down my grow better with nice chicken wire like I had bought, intended on doing. And I just thought, you know, haven't really had any issues with animals coming back there and eating it. The most issues I've had is my dog coming and laying down or rolling over on the plants when they're young. But this year, absolutely obliterated by a family of rabbits. Got all the rabbits out except for 2, and then one of them ended up escaping a month or so after that. And this other one was born in the backyard, and so all it knows is the
We've got a
backyard.
few.
And so I'm like, but you know, the what, four actually there's really a 5th, but the 5th one's really struggling. It looks healthy, it's coming back, but it was nibbled down so far I couldn't see it below the wood chips, and it came back. But you know, those plants out of nowhere, I just basically kind of stopped tending to them because I was like, it's a loss, I'm just gonna wrap it up. and they took off. I mean, I got one of the OG brain strains that I was the Cappy brain strains that finally kicked off, and it's now cranking some out. I got some peach habaneros that I just grew them because I was like, oh, I'll try out these peach hobs, see what they're like. I had one of those that's in ground, and it's now so well established. I haven't watered it in months. It must have tapped
Yeah.
into the natural water supply, down low, because Texas is brutal, and now it's got like 100+ peppers just loaded on it. So much so that the branches haven't snapped, but they've fallen over to now create support for the main shoot.
Right. Yeah,
It's
we're on like a hard drought right now. We got like a couple days of rain, real light rain about 2 weeks ago. But other than that, like it's well over a month that I've had any rain.
wow,
So water bill doesn't like me,
yeah.
um, and I don't like using hose pipe water. But it is what it is, and as long as I add enough stuff to it, it works.
Yeah. Are you a strong proponent of the idea of like having inline filter for your water hose if you do use it, or do you just chalk it up
I
as
would.
if you have to resort? It is what it is.
It is what it is. Yeah, I don't. I wish I did. Years ago, we had a RODI system, but I haven't never really replaced it. So yeah, it's just straight out of the hose pipe. I mix it with fish fertilizer, and that's what I water my plants with, and fish hydrolysate. And if I don't have that, it's fish emulsion, some Neptune. It's just whatever I have.
Yep.
I swap around.
Yep. Nope.
Try to
No,
stay organic as I can.
that makes perfect sense. I mean, you got quite the grow going on there. So that's where I was thinking. Like, if you're doing filters, inline filters at that level of a grow, you're probably, I would think, having to swap out. Maybe you'd be lucky and get away with like one new filter every season, or
Yeah.
maybe having to change out mid-season for a filter, depending on how much you're using your
Yeah, I
hose water.
water. We water. I get that asked a lot. I water my potted plants because they're all in fabric pots. Probably every other day,
Hmm.
I'm watering just because the heat in Tennessee's not as brutal as Texas, but it's 90 plus every day. It has been for a couple months. We do get some cool mornings, but it's been hot and these plants dry out fast. And I mean, I'm out here right now and you can see kind of above me, right?
Hmm.
I don't, right there, shade
Yep.
cloth. First year I've ever used it, and I love it. People say, "Oh, they need all the sun they can get." They work great. It works great here.
Yep. Yeah, that's the same thing. So I have custom built out the shade cloth, like sent in the dimensions, if you will, and
Yeah,
had them kind of build in the fasteners and all that stuff. But put it up one year. I didn't put it up this year because we tried something different, and I think I'll roll with this again because it turned out great. I just I underestimated the capabilities of staggering sunflowers between pepper plants.
oh
Those
yeah, that
sunflowers
works.
take off, and it almost becomes too much of a hindrance if you plant too many of them around. I got monstrous sunflower plants, but the pepper plants that are right under it, that they might as well be non-existent. So,
Yeah, we grow sunflowers too. Yeah, I love them. So most people don't know I don't just grow peppers. We grow everything. So it's from squash, cucumbers, anything you can think of. We grow it. You're talking about your rabbit problem. We grew green beans this year, and they never hardly got took off because the rabbits just ate them down to the ground. They don't bother my peppers, but everything else, yeah, they eat.
yeah, I
I
was
hate a rabbit.
shocked. I would have thought the rabbits would have. So I ended up trying out a few different methods. I was talking to Gary Montcalm about this, about the RCW, and hey, can you just cast the seed out into the wood chips and kind of just lightly scrape it? Will they actually germinate and take off? And man, oh man, I did that with some arugula. I did that with some tons of cucumber seeds because I didn't think the cucumbers were going to work at all. Because I mean, bigger seed, and then as well as I did that with squash and zucchini. All of those just turned out monstrous and looking great. So next year, I'm not going to even hassle with the idea of digging and so on. So I'm just going to rope off sections and just throw seed and be like, well, whatever comes up from here, cool. and I'm going to test that theory once more. And if that works, then that'll be good enough for me. Obviously, for someone that is, utilizing these peppers and things to, end up churning not only business but also fueling these competitions. It's not quite something so whimsical that you can do. You kind of have to
Right.
have a finite thing. But it was a fun experiment this year. That arugula went bonkers, as well as the cucumbers. But the rabbits didn't touch any of that. It ended up eating a lot of the Swiss chard that I had, and all the uh, you know detrimental insects, if you will, just absolutely pillaged the Swiss chard. So I might have Swiss chard as my sacrifice plant going
Right.
forward. So
Yeah, I think this year probably my worst experience was the in-ground plants. I don't know where it's like at the beginning of the season we just got pounded with rain for like months. It seemed like storms, rain. And it was to a point where I'm like, I'm ready to plant. I need to quit raining. And all I need to do is really till the garden, amend the soil. We put down ground covers. So once it's tilled, I can plant. I can
mm-hmm.
wait in between rainstorms. And that's literally what we did. I had one clear weekend. I tilled everything, amended the ground, not enough, and planted. And then it stopped raining. And seemed like it never rained again. And then
Mm.
we get a little bit of rain, and then it just went hot. And so everything in ground, like my in ground plants are probably, I mean, some of them are 3, 4 feet tall, but for a majority of them are 2 feet tall. They're producing, but like say the plants behind me are 7, 8, 9 feet tall, and they're in the pots. And I think I've about decided I'm not still 100% that I'm going all pots next year. I really
Nice.
like them. It's easy. It's easy to control. I'm gonna try some bigger pots. We use 7 and 10 gallon. I do actually have a few 3 gallons just because they were extra,
Mm-hmm.
and I think I'm gonna try to stick with pots next year.
Yeah, just from my own experience of what I've tried different pots, whether they be the plastic buckets, the root pouches, all these different things, right? Um, I, I love the pots, and I love whether it be the hard plastic or the actual fabric pots. But the thing that I've noticed, and you hit on this earlier, which was like you just have to water them so much more. They need so much more tendon care to kind of like make sure they don't dry out. And that's just been like my biggest issue in Texas with them. That's where it seems like if I can manage to get the plants to take hold that are in ground, at least where I've been planting them, which makes sense because that section used to have this massive willow tree, and willow trees love water. So it's like I think that there's a nice water reserve, if you will, down below, because those three actually have just I haven't watered them since the beginning of summer because I thought they were all dead, and they're monsters, and I don't even have to do anything. It's wild. Overall growing and how that's kind of been turning out for you this year in general, this season. Something that we touched on briefly, which was kind of an idea of how you select what you're growing and how that kind of changes year over year. Now, with the most recent Houston, Texas League of Fire belt match that I was in, there was a few of the pods that you are known for in there, and they definitely woke me up, if you will, from the overall competition. That Tennessee Gut Bomb, first and foremost, that thing was violently hot, and also had a nice overall, very floral, bitter note right up the initial punch, and then you kind of got that sweetness on the back end. But hearing the competitors next to me and their immediate reaction to that, and watching as they kind of inched backwards, like, whoa, what just happened? That Gut Bomb, from what I remember, because I'm pretty sure that's the same one that I had tried either a season or 2 seasons ago, I can't remember now, but
I
that
think it
thing
was last
has
season.
escalated in heat and in overall impact. So is that just simply going through the process of you doing your selection?
Yeah, it's just I just grown it year after year. It was grown this year. It's grown in the ground. I have one in the bag, but what you ate was grown in the ground. I don't know if it makes a big difference, but I mean, it kind of is what it is. I haven't really done anything special. It's just grown year after year after year. I've been growing those for probably 7, maybe 8 years. So that's it's a 7 pot Maruga SR strain. Um, and then I think it's the Boot Assam cross. I think that's what it is. I've got it wrote down.
Yep.
But
That
it
one
hurts.
That one definitely hit hard, as well as there was one tossed in there. I don't know if that specifically came from Brent or if that was something that Brent was working on that Brad
The
was
deceiver.
growing. Yes. Oh my gosh. That little thing. At first, when it handed it to me, I was like, where's the rest of the pepper? You know, it's like one of those things that you look at and you're like, this
Not
thing
that
can't
big.
do nothing. And yeah, it's definitely meaty. It was solid and it was so juicy for such a tiny pod. It had so much flavor and juiciness to it. But that's also what kicked up that burn on it. Oh my goodness. That those two were just like those caught me off guard. I'll be completely transparent. Whenever it was with those, I was like, "What is going on?" And then there was a green, I think it was a green 7 pot that was added into the rotation,
Yeah.
and
Mustard 7 pot.
that one just hit me. Not in the
You said
sense
it
of
tastes
like
like grass.
yeah, not being extremely hot, but it just ended up hitting my taste buds and throw me for a loop because I was so used in like that mindset of that fruity, juicy, all these citrusy notes and all this like everything kind of coming through, and that one just completely out of left field knocked it around, and I almost lost it at that point just because mentally I had been locked in, focused, and prepared for essentially a certain set of flavors and expectations. So that was pretty wild too, to have kind of sprinkled into the mix.
Yeah. It's one of my favorites. I like mustard pods.
Yeah. Oh, I absolutely love them. I think, I don't know what I was just, I think there was a big mustard mama also in that mix, but for some reason that one just threw me off my game so much more at that one point. Obviously, there was quite a few rounds going on, and with a lot of new faces at the table, it became one of those things that trying to figure out what was reasonable punishment, if you will, versus what was egregious, and so. That one went on. I think it was if I remember correctly, it was either 13 or 14 rounds normal of just like no speed, and then I think it was 15 rounds total, and the 15th round was speed. And man, just once again down to 3 pods, and it's like, yeah, okay, it is what it is. But I was honestly shocked because at one point I told everyone like, hey, I'm gonna just do pod reviews the whole time, and I was rocking them and keeping them going, and then it ended up just I caught myself probably round 8 or 9 going, man, why am I doing pod reviews right now? Because like I couldn't get deep into my mindset of just like clearing everything else out and just focusing on the music. Because if you look back at the playback, I have one headphone in, and that's solely because my wife is in the crowd controlling the music that's being played. And so I curated a playlist of things that I know would help me focus. And
Right.
it got to the point where I was so focused on the idea of just chatting with those watching that I stopped paying attention to the music. And the next thing you know, it was around that time that I was like, okay. And that mustard just woke me up. Now I got to realize that I'm not paying attention to what's really going on. I was just kind of in the rhythm. So,
Oh yeah. Yeah, I understand. I rewatched. I was watching you, and then I went back and watched. I clicked over so I could see everybody, and then came back and watched you afterwards. Yeah, it was brutal.
yeah,
That
yeah.
was a lot of pots.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun too because it was a nice breakdown experiment of going in, no prep, no real training, no real major pushes for almost a year, if not a year, and yeah, it was a lot of fun. I had a blast, hung around, talked. The second it was over, I should have just picked up the camera and then started walking around because I walked inside, and then it was taking photos with folks, waiting in line to get a Topo Chico because That's kind of my, I guess, go-to on a competition type of style is get something carbonated, and then I just chug it as fast as I can. And so waited around, and then I ended up talking, and the next thing you know, it's like, I don't know, maybe 20, 30 minutes after the comp, and I'm like, I still haven't even remotely got this out. And talking to Paul for a while about just, catching up on everything, and letting him know what my overall experience was and with this science experiment. And it was a blast. And the next thing you know, it's like, I got to get this out. So, slam that thing back, 15 minutes of jumping jacks until I could finally get, level set. So like really 20 minutes of discomfort was really all it took. Obviously, right. Competition is what it is. Like you're enduring it during that. But I don't gauge that as true discomfort. Because the discomfort, as most chili heads know, come after the fact. So.
Oh yeah.
But.
Yeah, the rest of the night.
Yeah. Which was great because, like I said, the system that I've kind of worked out, at least for me, it makes that window real small. Then afterwards, hanging out, trying more sauces, trying more spicy desserts, etc., and having a great night. So it was a lot of fun. And so I guess really with that tying back into the overall grow aspect, have you started to find out that there's more of a demand that you need to grow certain types of varieties for this upcoming season? Or
just the heavy producers? Every year I pick 9 or 10 different varieties that are my heaviest producers, and I stick with those heaviest producers year after year after year. Like the Tennessee Gut Bomb is a heavy producer. It produces 60, 70 pods, and I like it.
Yep.
It destroys people. It's a good competition pod. It's a good sauce pod. And it repeats itself year after year. It doesn't get milder. I think, like you say, I think it gets hotter.
Mm-hmm.
And then you'll have plants where you'll plant a plant, it'll grow 8 feet tall and it'll produce 4 or 5 peppers, and I don't want to do that. Those won't get grown again.
Yep. Well, and then I guess on that note, do you often find yourself either sampling pods mid-season or, just overall gauging? And if they do look like they're either not producing or you try one and it's like, it's not quite as hot as I remember last year. Do you just at that point just call it quits on that one and stop wasting resources on it? Or how do you go about that?
No, I don't. Like I've said before, I don't cull plants. I let them grow. I'm gonna let them finish the season off. Not only because we sell our peppers, so heat doesn't necessarily sell peppers. People want peppers for the way they look.
Mm-hmm.
If it's a real gnarly looking pepper, like you ate the XP, I've grown that for like 7 years. I got that in a trade years ago. Don't even remember who I got it from. Now I've grown it year after year, and it repeats itself year after year, and it goes through like 7 color variations till it's finally done. And sometimes it ripens caramel, and sometimes it ripens like a real deep burgundy. It just depends. And like that one, I'll grow year after year. It's not a brutally hot pepper. It doesn't taste the greatest, but it looks phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
People buy it just for that. I mean, it's people buy them for looks. People are in a competition. It looks crazy in a competition.
Yep.
You show them the pepper, and people are like, "Oh, that's awesome looking." Your hottest pods may not be the gnarliest looking pod. They're just, maybe a smooth sided round pod, but it may be brutally hot.
Yep.
You don't know until you try it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, the perfect example. I mean, both of those. Now, granted, the Tennessee Gut Bomb was definitely, probably, I would say, one of the largest, if not the largest, peppers on the table when it came around. But you stack it next to the one from Brent, and that thing, you would be like, okay, well, I would feed this one to my child type of thing versus like I'll eat the bigger one, and those are so evenly stacked in the overall heat. It's just in a different delivery and a different way that it really comes on and lingers with you between the two. So, oh man. It's a very deceiving game. It's much like how individuals will be. Some are just like, okay, they're extremely genius, right? But maybe they're lacking in other areas, whether it be social skills, et cetera, or whatnot. But it's the same thing with like peppers, but just in different traits, right? So that's
Oh,
kind of the beauty of it. And really, with these competitions, that's what's so much fun is being able to sit there and try these different peppers from different growers and getting to, you might be trying a 7-pot primo from one person and a 7-pot primo for another. They're not going to taste always identical. There's going to be minor nuances that you're going to pick up. And so obviously there's much more variables behind that than just simply the grow itself, seed sourcing, etc. But yeah, it's just, yeah, it's a fun
different
time.
different regions grow different peppers. Like for instance, I grow a Ultra Beast. It's Chad Ingman's pepper from California. He gets a giant long tail. Every year he grows it, he gets the same looking tail. It's a smaller pod but a longer tail. Me, on the other hand, if I grow it, I get a fatter, rounder pod with a short tail. We're growing from the same seed stock.
Mm-hmm.
It's He's in California, up in the mountains in California. I'm in Middle Tennessee. It just different regions grow different things, and I'm sure they taste different.
Yep.
I'm not a big pod eater. I like to grow.
Yep. Well,
I
it's
will
also,
sample them from time to time.
yeah, and there's oftentimes I'll hear, definitely going to these different League of Fire belt matches, I'll hear that Italy is known for having some insanely hot pods over there, and the more that I've talked this through and thought about it, it's very much true to the overall region. I mean, you got that the rocky yet fertile soil surrounded by the water. Very much more humid, also nice level of heat, just in the climate aspect. So it almost is, a ideal growing situation to really create some monsters. And so, yeah, I
I've
could
talked to a lot
definitely.
of the I've talked to a lot of the competitors over that were in Italy. I've talked to Annie, Noddy, and a bunch of other ones, and they've all said the pods were 10 times hotter over there than they were here.
That's so wild, so wild. Also, so intrigued to want to like melt my face off with some of them just for sheer science, uh, and really gauging it all. But um, it's just, yeah, there's no real, other than just the overall growing and the way that it is grown and where it's grown. There's no real good reason as to why it should just be leagues different. Yeah, right. So it's interesting. And as different places throughout the whole entire world are having League of Fire belt matches, the Primo Wrecking Crew is doing a very solid job at not only being in the United States, but branching out further to other countries, as to where I don't know too many other groups that are helping, pepper these events to the caliber that y'all have been able to. And I know it takes quite a team to be able to help pull this off. With the most recent Primo pepper comp, or count, how many can you eat for the world record? There we go. That had to, that's not a small grow by any stretch either. The amount
No,
of
it's
peppers that
Robert.
were provided is insane.
Yeah, that's Robert. Grew all those.
Yep.
He has
Yeah,
That's
and
all he grows is Savinas, Primos, and the big Bayou Mama.
yep.
That's all he grows, and I think he's got like 500 plants, maybe more.
It that you know it is astonishing the amount of peppers that were on that table, but at the same time, it's like one of those things that you never know what someone's going to be able to take down. I think Steven, I can't remember if it was 85 or 86, but
85.
85, that is insane. And that was just a chain eating. I mean, he was going
And that's what
absolute.
people don't realize is people that don't see it is he ate 50 mustard primatales 2 days before that in one sitting, under 5 minutes.
That is wild.
Just pounded them. Yeah, he's a different breed.
Yeah, yeah. It
I enjoy it. I enjoyed seeing the people eat them. I enjoy them because I don't eat the peppers like that. And some people may not like the pepper eating competitions. I like it.
Yeah.
I think it's a sport. I think it's fun. I like providing the peppers for it. I don't care what people think about it. Um, I like to. I like the competitions. I think it's neat because it's not just cooking. It's not just sauce making. It's somebody that can't make sauce. Somebody that can't grow, or somebody that just can't do anything with peppers. They can eat them. Go for
Mm-hmm.
it.
Yep. Well, and that's the great part too, is it helps like bring in new people. You're
Exactly.
showcasing different growers throughout the world. You're having so much positive exposure. Not to mention, the most recent event that I was at, you have so many sauce makers and just spicy product makers that are sitting there. And you can watch as I was looking out into the crowd. I could see as the peppers were lining up, they're taking mental note on whether or not these peppers are having a profound effect upon the participants, and just kind of seeing like, okay, well, maybe this would be a good pepper to take a look at, or maybe that one might be better. And so from that note, it really ends up working out well for them as well, because it's just, you're, as a grower, you're getting the exposure, and also not maybe not you in particular, but like other growers can now figure out, okay, well, maybe if I start growing this for this other sauce maker, then we can kind of have, perpetuating the overall expansion of the community. So,
One helps one another.
yep, absolutely. And
Yeah,
so,
it's grown. I've watched it grow because, like I said, I've been doing it for 12, 13 years or longer. I don't know. Since the hot pepper forums, before Facebook was huge. Um, and I've watched it just steadily just go up and up and up and up and grow. I mean, especially over the past 2 years. I mean, you can't go to the store and get something and not see something spicy now. And it's the levels have upped. I mean, you can go to the store and get ghost pepper stuff now, or anything. I mean,
yep,
for instance, I mean, just it's growing and it's growing fast and it's getting a lot of recognition. I talk to people on a daily basis. I'm a big pepper nerd. I like talking about growing, so people always message me and ask me about growing. I'll message them right back and give them ideas, or I get ideas from people. Like, I'm having a problem with a plant, I can't figure it out. I'll message somebody else that they've had the same problem with. It's a huge community, and most of the people in it are really good. You have a few bad apples, but
yep.
I just don't associate myself with them and keep it clean and grow.
Yeah, no, definitely. And so, I guess on that note, then, as far as for this season, have you found there to be like more of a, I guess, for lack of a better word, a revolutionary kind of breakthrough that you've kind of learned from this year, whether that be from helping someone else or within your own grow?
In my own grow is this year I didn't really add a whole lot. It's just stay strictly um, organic fertilizers, and instead of watering with fertilizers once a week, I've gone 2 or 3 times a week. Sometimes I've gone every other day. Instead of, like, usually people say every 7 days
Hmm.
or every 5 days. So I was doing once a week. Now I do, like, say, every other day, and I can see a huge difference. Now, like I say, getting pointers from other people, like, you see something they're growing, you like it, ask them how they're doing it, and if they're nice enough to write you back, and most of them are, um, they'll tell you how they're doing or give you more ideas. I didn't get my drip irrigation fully installed this year. Next year will be fully installed, so I'm not hand watering every single plant because that's for the birds.
Yeah, yeah, definitely at the scale that you're doing it. That's
Yeah.
the time already at the at your job, doing that day in day out, and then having to come back and then water. And I know you have a great team, a great family that's willing to help out and chip
Yeah.
in,
Yeah.
and power to them on that, because once again, not a small ask, not a small task to be able to get into. But it's great. It's resilience building for the kids, for the family, and really to help kind of unify and bring everyone together. So,
I grew up doing it.
have any of the kids really
I
dived into really being a little bit
Oh
more
yeah.
passionate about it?
My oldest is into the spicy now, so she's not necessarily you know uh, growing, but she is eating the
Nice.
spicy. So her tolerance is pretty big. She's one of those that got to go to. We go to the restaurant. She's got to have the hot sauce, and so it's neat. I like trying to have the family out there and teaching them. I grew up being in the garden. I grew up around a roast nursery, and then my other grandfather had a huge garden, and so I've been in the garden since I was little bitty. And if I can get them and teach them, because it's a lost trade. A lot of kids don't know how to grow their own, and with the world you're living in, you don't know what tomorrow brings. So if they can get seed and grow their own vegetables, grow their own whatever, especially it's a sell it, make money,
Yep.
or eat it. I mean, we eat a lot of it. So I don't sell
Yeah.
the vegetables. The vegetables we consume. The peppers are for sale, and it's I really enjoy the local aspect of it, like people coming local and sitting there and getting to talk to them about it. And of course, they're always amazed because nobody ever knows there's that many different varieties of peppers until you walk around and see, and then they're just stunned.
Yep.
That's what I enjoy. I enjoy talking to other people about it, teaching about it, and
Yeah.
and learning.
Yeah, no, that's the best part. I just know from my own personal experience of helping out others at different markets and stuff. It's that aha, that wow moment of really being able to watch someone come to the table and maybe they're hesitant at the idea of trying something spicy, or you got those people that are like, borderline, probably a little bit too cocky for their own good, and they're beating their
Arrogant.
chest, and then next thing you know, they try something that isn't necessarily
My
the
favorite part.
hottest, and then they get wrecked off of it. And then,
That's my favorite part.
yeah, it just watching them walk off and then come back later and then be like, all right, well, I don't know what that was, but that was
It hurt.
good. Let me get that.
That's my favorite part. It's like when I haven't worked a festival here. We have one locally. Matter of fact, it's this weekend. Um, I just didn't have the time for it this year, but we work. We've worked it about 3 or 4 years in a row, and that's always somebody will come to the table. I want the hottest thing you got. That's fine. Sign a waiver right there, and here you go. And I want you to see you eat it. And I'm gonna video it.
Yep.
And it's the same thing. They eat a hot pepper, and then they're I'm from a and I don't really grow a whole lot smaller than a ghost. I
Hmm.
grow a few, but not a lot. And it just wrecks people. And it's very enjoyable because you like to say they come up pumping their chest, they're real cocky. Let me tear you down real quick and bring you back down to the level that you need to be.
Yep.
But it's fun. Like I say, it's enjoyable.
Yep, yep. No, that is absolutely a blast. Well, you also have. Are you fueling this upcoming? I think there's a belt match this weekend, right, on Saturday.
Yeah, I'm not. I think it's Robert, I think Brett, and Dean Frater.
Okay, okay. Yeah.
We're doing the one next weekend, which is I think next weekend's the Blaze for Brave.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, but that's a huge one because there's like two belt matches in that one.
Yep.
Yeah, there's the whole crew is doing that one.
Yeah.
So we
That's
swap up. It's just who has peppers. That's the thing about it. I know there was some comments made about how many peppers are in each event. We can't help that. It's pepper availability.
yeah.
So certain times of the year, most people have peppers, some people don't. And we're sourcing them from each other. So most of the time we do, and like I said, that'll be a big one. Uh, but yeah, we're all sending peppers to that one. So it's
Nice.
going to be a fun event because there's going to be some heaters. It's late season pods, and late season pods, I've always been told, are the hottest available
Yep. Yep. They
because they take
always
longer to
taste way
ripen.
better, and they're always way hotter.
That's
So
because they take so long to ripen. Like when I put peppers in the greenhouse, I'll send peppers to people that have bought from me through the season because I have a ton of repeat people, and they always say that they're the hottest peppers I've had all season because they take so long to ripen.
yep.
They're just hot.
Do you I guess two things on that. So Blaze for the Brave, yes, is coming up. That's going to be a great event. That was one that I was kind of on the fence of whether or not I was going to be able to make it out there. It just didn't happen out this year. So hopefully that's already on the map for potentially next year, being out there and in a different capacity, hopefully a fun one for sure. But yeah, that's going to be a great event there. But then also, from the standpoint of knowing that obviously pepper availability, I guess there's really two questions here. But the first one being like pepper availability and you having these repeat, customers that continuously come back. Do you ever have like somebody that's just very, very focused on like, hey, I only want these two or this one variety in these boxes, and I'll wait around for just that?
Oh yeah, I have it every year. I grow the Deathridge red, and there's a guy that makes honey, and that has been he makes honey with those peppers, and that has been the slowest producing pepper this year for some I don't know why. I have two of the plants, and they're both grown in pots. It's a giant, long red pepper. You ate one.
Oh yeah.
Uh, it's a brutal pepper, but he makes hot honey with it. And for some reason, this year that plant is just not producing hardly anything. I'm getting like 4 or 5 pods here and there, and he needs a lot. And
Hmm.
last year it was producing a lot. So yeah, I do get a lot of that, but most of the time I just sell mixed boxes. It's just, I'm a busy person. Like I pick on Sunday, I work all through the week, and then full family, so we're busy, and it's always been that way. I pick on Sundays, I ship on Monday from my work. So yeah, it's just mixed boxes, and like I say, I've done it for so long that I have so many repeat customers. I don't really ever have a problem getting rid of them. I've
Hmm.
never in the past this year or last year, I haven't thrown any peppers away. I haven't froze any peppers yet, just because they're gone as soon as I post them, they're usually gone.
Nice.
And it's just word of mouth. And I think League of Fires helped. Um, and like I say, being part of Troy's Wrecking Crew, we try to help each other out. Post each other's stuff, and it's I don't know. It's been a good year. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not produced as heavy this year. This year's been a little bit lighter, I think, just because of the weather. But last year I produced 4 times as many peppers. But this year, I mean, I can't complain. It's still been good.
Yeah, no, that's great to hear. And I guess for those that are watching and listening, how long can they expect, and how can they reach out to you? Obviously, we've talked about this before, but anyone that may be new, how can they reach out to you, and how long are you going to be offering boxes?
I'll offer boxes probably until first frost, and then once they go in the greenhouse, I'll sporadically post them because it'll only be like 4 or 5 boxes here and there. It doesn't produce a lot in the greenhouse. I do it for fun. I like to see how far I can push them in the greenhouse. But heating with a wood stove, I'm out there every 4 hours loading the wood stove. I load it before I go to work at 4 o'clock in the morning, and then it's a lot of work to keep up, but I enjoy it. You
Yep.
got to have a passion for it. But they can always reach me at Deathridges Peppers. Matter of fact, right now until 12 o'clock tonight, there's a live giveaway going right now. All you have to do is get on there and comment, tag somebody on my Facebook page. And I don't know if I have it posted anywhere, but I'm also going to drop one on Instagram on Monday for the
Okay.
following week's shipping. This is a free box of pods, but I'm going to put my favorite pods from this season in that box. So it's not just going to be a mixed box. It'll be hand selected by me, and it'll be a cool box.
Very nice. I will have the link down below for the group as well as you mentioned, and then of course it'll have the link for your Instagram. So everyone who's listening, watching, and wants to be a part of that, jump on in. I highly recommend that you do. Got amazing peppers, and very, very much the heart, love, and passion is poured out and seen in those pods. The Deathridge Red that you mentioned is, yes, extremely tasty, extremely hot, and one that is for sure one that's, I think you sent, I think you also sent the chocolate with that as well, right?
Yeah, we have the chocolate and red.
The
Chocolate's doing great.
those were both so tasty. It was almost a shame to have ate them all at once instead of like trying to pair it with some food, because they weren't like the knock you in the mouth with just over like bitterness and everything. They would pair very well with a lot of other dishes. So
Oh yeah,
that part was a nice treat, and a very enjoyable overall breakdown and review on that as well. But yeah, oh God, so good. I'm just thinking back to all the great opportunities, being able to check out these different pods and so on.
yeah.
It's
I'm working on some more. I've got about 4 or 5 that I've tried this year. So I took the XP and crossed it with a couple of things. Um, Across the RB003 with a couple things. The red chocolate with a couple things.
nice. I
So
like it. I like the sound of that there. It's ultimately sounds like you're headed in a very upward direction in that, and positive motion. So I like the sound of that. Something that we had touched on last time, wanted to make sure we kind of hit on a little bit, which is, now that you're getting into the fruiting, now that we're towards the end of the season, what are some things that you would advise those folks that are starting to get flowers to be able to maximize what they have left of their season?
let's see. Um, Just push them, feed them.
All right. And is there like
That's
a?
that's all I was. Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, is there a specific thing that they can kind of focus on to help kind of solidify the fact of kind of keeping from flower drop?
I don't really do anything special. You're going to get flower drop from the um, weather changes. So when it cools, when it gets hot to cold, you're going to have flower drop. If your plants dry out too much, they're going to have flower drop. I try to keep my plants wet, not soaked wet. Um, and, I don't really have a whole lot of it. I don't do anything special. I
Okay.
kind of try to let the plants go as long as I can. Just push them with a good fertilizer, or like say that's what I've been using all year is fish fertilizer, and I really like it. I will hit about mid-season um, a few times with like some 20 just to give the plants a good boost, and then once they go, they go.
Nice. I like it. Definitely like that. Well, I appreciate everything that we've learned and picked up throughout this. Now, obviously, we had touched on it at the very beginning. What has been your Facebook find of the season so far?
This year was I got it last the end of last season was shade cloth. That was my biggest score. I got like 200 and some odd feet of it, and I've used every bit of it. So, like say, it was a greenhouse, huge greenhouse. I said it in the last one that was going out of business. I got all their trays and everything else. So
Very
all
nice.
that I found last year when the card says there. I haven't done a whole lot of big Facebook finds this year. I found a few. I'll tell you what I found. I found 2 gallon jugs of Neptune, both varieties of the Neptune fertilizer for $15 this year,
Oh,
which
wow.
is they're like $40 a piece. They were full.
Yeah.
So
No, that's awesome. That's a great
the guy
find right
bought it,
there.
never used it. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. Facebook, I usually do pretty good with.
Yeah. So, I haven't heard of anyone having more wins than you with finding stuff on Facebook. So that's very cool. Always excited to hear what you can find, what you have found. So, a
I
fun
like
little.
seeing the videos of or the pictures of after the last podcast of stuff people found. I know there was a guy that found a bunch of 55-gallon drums that he was using to make jadam and use them for rain barrels the same way you are. And I just think that's neat.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun. I'm looking
If I can
forward
help
to.
somebody else out.
Yeah, yeah. I'm looking forward to trying to find those 55-gallon drums. Hopefully, get that rest of that project kind of eased out because this year I ended up using. Didn't mean to, but one of the kids' sandboxes they flipped all the sand out, and so it's one of those like turtles with the shell. So the shell
Yeah,
came
yeah.
off, the weeds went in there, and all the other things that were just going to be decaying anyways. And then as it rained, it filled up and it was breaking down, and that's been feeding the plants immensely with the amount of just very minimal of that jadam used in there. So I like it. I'm gonna keep rocking with it and expand upon the overall breakdown. So absolute win right there. Free stuff, free resources that's already growing. Chop it down, just add some water, give it some time.
Oh yeah. I mean, if you can go about gardening and do it, the cheaper the better. Is we use compost to. I've used a lot. That's one big thing I've noticed this year. That I can tell you that is so. I tried using some bag potting soil, just some cheap Walmart bag potting soil. I tried straight mushroom compost. I tried mixing mushroom and hummus compost, and the compost has worked a great. The mix has worked the greatest.
Very nice. Yeah, that's something that's always debated and talked about, and I feel like definitely with the thought process lately that I've had of like kind of challenging the myths or status quos. That's one of those things that I feel like needs more attention and discussion. And so to hear that result is great news, because ultimately there's a lot of things that are thrown out there. I mean, definitely now you're seeing this more with I think we talked about this briefly too last time, with the idea of like TikTok and these shorter format, quick hit type of things rolling out. People are giving misinformation in the sense of like things to give for your plants to help your garden that ended up hindering or hurting your overall production and growth. And so to be able to actually have verified stuff again, and full breakdowns, not just seeing like, hey, this is what you should do, and then like ending the thing
AI.
without showing the progress. So
Yeah, I think you're having a lot of problems with that. That's AI. It's
yeah.
those AI videos where it's, the when it comes down to the topping and stripping of the plants, don't just leave
Mm-hmm.
it alone. Let your plant grow. Let it grow. There's your topping your people. I know people always say you can cut the leaves off and it'll push all the power to the top of the plant. Do it if you want to. Do we? No. Once the plants are in the soil, I don't touch the plant unless it's got a disease side of the plant that I could try to chop off
Mm-hmm.
or treat it. I don't cut the leaves, don't top it. Yeah, you may get a bushy plant. I don't want a bushy plant. I want a big plant that's going to be bushy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want just a little bitty plant.
Yep. Yep. No need to
That's my
have just
opinion.
two branches. Might as well, go full send with what the plant's going to want to do.
And like I've noticed, like this year, it's just you'll have some plants that are going to grow 8, 9 feet tall. They're going to produce 20 peppers. You have some plants that are short, 2, 3 feet tall, and produce 200. It's just it is what it is.
Yep. No, makes sense. Like it. Now, I guess from here we've kind of already touched on a nugget of knowledge, so there's no need to really kind of dive down that per se, unless you have something on your mind that you really want to help share out there. But if not, this is a great opportunity to showcase or put someone on the hot seat per se. Obviously, this is being more of a grower talk, and this is one of the most requested things, is more highlighting and discussions on not only growing, practices, etc., but just highlighting growers. So if you want to continue on that trend, open for that, or if you had someone in mind, open for that as well.
Yeah, I mean, I follow a lot of growers. I mean, so I would like to see you talk to Robert Scriven on here, Bob that produced the peppers. Get him on here. But I've been following a lot of Nan this year. Uh, most people that grow any peppers know who Nan is.
Mm-hmm.
He grows monster plants. He uses a lot of the same techniques we do. I've watched him learn from him, and just Gary and Moncom. I've got pointers from Troy. I've got pointers from, like I say, the Wrecking Crew. We have a chat where all the Wrecking Crew talk on a daily basis, and um, we we help each other out. Give
Yep.
ideas, go back and forth. A lot of these people have been growing, not necessarily super hots, but all different peppers for years, and it's great ideas.
Absolutely. That's a great thing to be able to continue to help thrive, push, learn, grow at such a rapid rate. A nice little like a masterclass, if you will, within that group.
Oh,
So
yeah.
definitely like that. I'll be reaching out, and I'll get Santa on the show too. He's a great grower, and as you had mentioned, very dedicated to the craft as far as knowing exactly what he's going to grow, and solely doing just that.
Yeah, he knows what he's doing too. I mean, he's done it for years, and he grows straight in the ground. Nothing special. It's good black gold compost that I think he makes himself. And I mean, he's done it for years and good at it, and he makes some amazing powders and jellies and jams. And so,
Yeah, absolutely. Love it. Well, for all those that are watching, listening, we've talked about, obviously, I'll have it linked down below. But for those that are just on Apple Podcasts only, what's the easiest way to keep up with you? And if you have anything else you want to let everyone know.
Deathridges Peppers. It's just my my last name. Yeah, I know it's for most people. My last name's kind of crazy. It fits with Peppers. But I'm on every social media you can be on, from TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. I have a YouTube. I don't really use it. I need to, but I don't. Um, you can follow me there. I post daily, sometimes 2 or 3 times a day. Um, I like interacting with people, and I don't know. That's what I like to do.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I'll have all that linked down below. Once again, Jacob, thank you so much for coming on. It's an absolute pleasure. Still, there's layers at which we can kind of dive deeper into this growing aspect. So would love to talk to you about that. Maybe talk about some pepper genetics aspect of some things, and just kind of what you've seen and experienced, and how you've had to navigate those waters of selection. So would love to have you back on and dive a little bit deeper into that.
Always, anytime.
Jacob, so thank you so much for coming on. It has been a pleasure having you on, discussing the overall growing, the involvement with League of Fire, your growing with the Primo Wrecking Crew, how the whole selection process goes, and just tips and tricks for growing super hot peppers. If you want to keep up with Jacob, I will have all the links down below in ways that you can keep up with him, as well as the group that he had mentioned having the box giveaway, as well as the Instagram that he said that he was going to look at having a giveaway as well on Monday. So keep tuned in for both of those so that you can be a part of those giveaways. If you enjoyed the products that are featured here on Hot or Not Tonight from Interstellar Confections, I will have the Instagram link down below with him so you can keep up with everything that he has going on, and grab yourself some amazing spicy chocolate or some non-spicy chocolate for those individuals in your family that cannot handle it. As always, want to say thank you so much for tuning in, continuing to be a part of the podcast, helping share this out with others. And if you're on a platform that allows for a rating and review for the podcast, please go ahead and give a 5-star review. That way it helps the algorithm continue to push us out in front of other like-minded chili heads. Want to give a shout out. We have sponsorship availability still open right now. So if you want to sponsor the podcast, reach out on socials, reach out on the website. Also wanted to say North Texas Hot Sauce Fest is coming up on October 18th, right around the corner. If you are in the DFW or Texas area in general, you should head on out to Martin House Brewing October 18th at the 3rd annual North Texas Hot Sauce Fest. It's going to be tons of fun, and I'll be out there. Look forward to meeting and greeting everyone that's out that way, recording some content and having a great time. As well as the Dallas Belt Match is October 25th in Winsboro. So if you're going to be in the area, head on out there. It's going to be a lot of fun, growing more and more. There's also a wing competition out there now. So should be a lot of fun. Looking forward to it. Quick shout out to the sponsors, podvision.io. If you're looking to grow your brand, start your brand, you hit a bump in the road, you're trying to figure things out, highly recommend checking out podvision.io for all those needs, as well as webdx.one. Maybe you have an online site. Maybe you had a guy at one point and lost contact. Maybe you never got around to building it. Highly recommend checking out webdx.one. Make it simple, painless, and easy. Best of all, you get to focus on what you do best while they get you looking great online. I'm Brandon Swear, and from everything from the world of hot, this has been The Swear Word.